All right, folks, I just had a shower thought, and it just occurred to me that I need to do the unscalable. You know, like YC, Y Combinator, they talk about this concept of doing the unscalable at the early stage of a startup. A good example is Airbnb. They did cereal to begin with to fund their startup, apparently. They did something called like Obama O's and something McCain's. I think they basically, Captain McCain's, heaven knows, something like that. And they basically did whatever they could to fund their startup at the beginning because they didn't have, enough revenue coming in. So it really got me thinking like, well, I need to get to that first sale as soon as possible. So how do I make that happen? And I'm thinking, hey, why don't I use experience I've got around developing my own social support system and coaching others or helping others in some kind of guidance, like a counselor type role, not a therapist, because obviously I'm not a qualified therapist. I don't want to go down that road. But if it worked for me, like my methodology to developing one social support, then I'd be very curious to know whether this applies for others as well. Hey folks, so this morning, it's now a Tuesday. I've had my pancakes, they were very nice. But yeah, feeling like I've got that solid carb hit, so I'm ready to steam ahead. I may not sound energetic, but believe me, I am. Anyway, enough of that jibber jabber. I am currently writing a memo to myself, just a quick memo. It's something I'm playing around with, which is based on the idea from yesterday around doing the unscalable. I just want to map out my thoughts on that. So what does that actually mean when I talk about social support coaching? So I'm going to essentially pretend I'm writing an email to an employee, except the employee in this case is myself. But I'm writing out to say, right, this is what I want us to do. The why, the what, the how, and making that very clear. So that way it kind of just makes sure that when I say do the unscalable, it's very clear what I mean by that. So yeah, just for clarity. Also, I'm quite excited because I've got a call with an old mentor in a couple of days. So it was meant to be next week, but he is not available that week. So I've rescheduled it to this week instead. And it should be good. Like this guy, honestly, he got me so far. He's an old mentor of mine. And yeah, so it'd be good to catch up with him again. He's just had his 40th. So yeah, shout out to Wade if you're watching. Happy birthday. But yeah, so he will be, I think I'm just going to ask him questions around, where the current startup is at. I'm just going to give him an update because he doesn't know yet what I'm up to. So I'm just going to give him an update since it's been so long since we caught up. And then yeah, get his thoughts because, he's done really well with business. So it'd be good to get his thoughts around what I'm up to and whether my thinking is on the right path. So yeah, something that's quite nerve-wracking for me right now is I want to do this social coaching thing, and I've done the memo and I'm now thinking about how to just get things started, and I'm thinking, how do I get the word out there that I'm offering this? So I'm thinking Reddit post, creating a landing page with optimum SEO and social media marketing as well. And I listed it in that order because I think that's the order of value or effectiveness, I should say. But yeah, I'm feeling resistant to actually putting up a post on Reddit advertising these services because I'm going to feel like a salesman. And then these subreddits, they just want to talk about their problems and how they're feeling, and the last thing they want is someone trying to sell their services. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot of resistance. But this is honestly, I think this is so classic for being an entrepreneur, being a startup owner, someone who is very much at the beginning. You really have to hustle for this, even at the risk of being critiqued or shot down or shunned. So this is something I need to do. So actually, I might just put up a post today, even if I haven't got a landing page for this proposition specifically. I might just put something up and say, hey folks, offering social support coaching, get in touch. Let's see how that works out. Okay, it's sent. I put up the post. That's it, done. and my heart's thumping, but that's okay. Let's see how it goes. Ooh wee. I'm doing that thing again where I overthink everything. I realize I'm doing that now when thinking about what the next course of action should be. Like literally, I see so many avenues of trying to get to product market fit, and all of them, like I keep second guessing in terms of what would work and what wouldn't work. So the current avenues I've got, like either one, I just build the product, like literally code it, just start coding now and just build the MVP and put something out there, even if it's a website, because that's really what I can manage right now, not so much mobile app, and just get something out there. Two, I start doing social support coaching, I should say, to coach folks to build up their social support systems and use that as a way to not only gather users, but to also understand the pain points so that it basically informs the app that I'm building. And then three, I guess, like, right, let's just focus on blogging as much as possible and getting articles put together, so I can start to gather a following to then funnel into an app. But literally, I'm looking at all these three options, and this reminds me of YC's partners use Siebel and Dalton. I say their surnames because I forget their first names. I think it's Michael Siebel, yeah. So they talk about the classic case of overthinking, and sometimes you need to just do what seems like the stupidest idea, or the most obvious idea, I should say. And in this case, the most obvious idea is just build the freaking MVP. Like, what am I doing? Who cares about all this other stuff? Like, just build something and get one user to use it. And that is enough. Like, honestly, I'm overthinking everything. I'm trying to like work out the most optimum approach, and this is such a dangerous idea. And yeah, so it's called the midwit meme. I'll link it below. It's an amazing, the video describes it really well. It's an amazing meme, and it basically says, like, in life, we tend to overthink a lot of things. And there are two ends of the, I guess, Gaussian curve, which is on one end, if you imagine, you've got the dumbass who just does okay, well, I'm just gonna do something. Doesn't have to be great, I'm just gonna do something. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum of that curve, where you've got the super genius, and they're like, right, well, based on my amazing intellect, I know that this is the right answer, and this is the way that scientifically this makes sense. I'm gonna do this. And then you've got the majority of us who are in the top part of the curve, because there's more of us, the midwits, where we're like literally clawing our eyes out trying to work out what to do next. Is like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? And it turns out, like, either the dimwit or the genius, they would have both gone for the same answer, just from different angles. The dimwit would be like, I'm just gonna do it, like, I don't really care. And the genius is more like, well, it makes sense, it's scientifically accurate, and that's the right way to go. And they both land on the same answer. I mean, this is obviously not something based on actual scientific rigor in terms of a study, but you get the idea. So yeah, I'm at danger of very much, right now I'm operating like a midwit, like right at the top. I'm overthinking everything. So I'm just gonna code. I'm just gonna put something together, and then we'll see what happens.